So, The Blood of the Dawnwalker is an upcoming RPG by some previous Witcher devs, and it's one of those RPGs that I'm looking forward to a lot, and presumably it's coming out next year. Now, there's a new showcase for this that's over 20 minutes long, and I haven't seen it yet, but because I want to vary the content on the channel, we're gonna do a reaction today again. Now, before we start, I would recommend that you guys check out the showcase on your own, because I might be pausing this video a lot, so just have that in mind. But if you don't mind that, then let's go. Alright, it's Rebel Wolves, the studio. That's pretty cool. Actual gameplay footage, work in progress, pre-beta version, so have that in mind. Yes, it's still very early, and recorded on PC. Okay, that's good. That is so reminiscent of The Witcher. Like, it's so, you know...
Hello, my name is Daniel Sadowski and I'm the design director at Rebel Wolves. I would like to welcome you to the Blood of Dawnwalker summer gameplay video. Our game is a story-driven, open-world dark fantasy RPG set in medieval Europe. The game is currently in pre-beta stage, and what we are going to show you is just a part of one of the mid-game quests. It's a really cool story involving legendary swords and a haunted almshouse, but today we'll focus on showcasing our gameplay systems. We're starting on the outskirts of Svartro, the game's largest city and the capital of Vale Sangora. From here, we could head anywhere the eye can see, explore ancient ruins or sabotage vampire blood transports.
Okay, that's cool.
But it's not just about where or when you go. It's also about how you approach the main quest and shape the story, making each playthrough uniquely your own.
Before we continue, I gotta say that I've already noticed that the graphics look a little bit muddy here. It's not a big complaint or anything, and it's still very early, of course, as he mentioned, but like you can obviously see that there's some muddiness to it. The lighting is a little, what do you say, off, but might be because of the weather in the game, it's hard to say, or maybe it's because of the brightness settings for the recording, or maybe it's the YouTube compression. It could be either of these things, but I am noticing, yeah, there's a slightly, it's definitely a work in progress here, but it's cool to hear that you can actually go anywhere you want. It's like a completely open world.
For now, we're following the road. Cohen is on his way to the city's cathedral, chasing leads about a powerful weapon said to be hidden in its crypts. But first, we'll have to deal with some bandits who camped out by the main road. Traveling through Vale Sangora is never boring. The world is dense with quests, random encounters, and locations steep in lore.
We like that.
This will be a great opportunity to show you our combat system. Our goal was to make the player feel like a real swordmaster who closely observes his enemies. We'll begin this fight by using acrid dust to stun one of the enemies. Now, when you attack, you choose one of 4 directions: up, down, left or right, in order to hit the opponent where he's unable to parry.
That is quite literally Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's using a very similar system. It seems like it's like I'm already looking from it right now. It looks like a mix between Kingdom Come Deliverance and The Witcher, and slightly God of War-ish because of how close up the camera is. I don't know how I feel about that because before starting this recording, I saw that some of the reception was mixed because people were like, I don't like the close quarters camera. Yeah, I'm not super into it either. It might just take some time getting used to. One thing that I don't know how I'm gonna feel about is the action camera, because he threw this kind of dust, this acrid dust in the face of the bandit, and the camera swooped over to show him do that. And I like dynamic cameras in QTE scenes and stuff like that, but this, I don't know how I feel about this either. We're gonna have to see, of course, but just from first impressions, it's kind of odd. But let's continue.
And similarly, when defending, you have to take note of the enemy's intent and the direction of the attack.
I like that.
On the left side of the screen, just above Cohen's health, you have activation charges that will be filled in with each successful attack, block and parry. Once they are full, you can use one of the active abilities which allow you to take a more tactical approach to fighting.
Oh, okay, I like
We
that.
started the fight by throwing some acrid dust. And now
Dismemberment,
let's cast Burning Blood. It's a hex which boils the enemy's blood and burns their skin, dealing physical damage over time.
I would have
Alright, time to finish this fight. Let's use the final activation charge to cast the artery attack, which actually
Whoopsie, I probably have to
decapitated the last
censor that here on
opponent.
YouTube.
Our hero quickly dispatched the bandits, so let's loot a few items they've left behind and open the inventory.
Yeah, so again, like the...
First of all,
I gotta mention the action camera thing. I don't know how I feel about that, but again, it might feel different when you're actually playing the game. But just first impressions, again, it's like that's super odd, and it kind of disrupts the flow of the combat, I think. But you know, I don't know. I haven't played it.
Let's replenish our health by eating something, and then take a closer look at this cool-looking weapon we just picked up.
The chopper.
Ah, it has better stats than our current weapon, so let's equip it right now.
26 to 70
We've
damage.
also leveled up, so let's use this opportunity to spend the newly acquired skill point in one of Cohen's skill trees. The skills in the Blood of Dawnwalker are divided into 3 trees, one for human, one for vampire, and one shared between the two. We also have an active abilities panel. We can use it to unlock additional abilities to use during combat.
That's interesting. Okay, so here we go. Human perks, shared perks, and Vrakiri perks. That's an interesting word. I haven't heard that before. So that's essentially the vampire perk. Okay, looks pretty standard. I like it.
Note that during the day, the health bar is not regenerating. You need to find consumables like the one we've just eaten. The hexes we've just used also consume some of Cohen's health. Be aware of that.
Blood magic.
The way our magic system works, there's always a price to pay for manipulating reality. But we can make it sting a bit less. Let's level up the Frugal Witchcraft skill, so next time we'll cast a hex, it'll consume fewer of Cohen's health points.
Like alchemy, right?
Now that we've wrapped up the encounter with the bandits, we can be on our way to get inside the city. Right now, Cohen hasn't done enough to ruffle the Vampire Lord's feathers, so the gods will just wave us through. But the more damage you cause, the more suspicious and aggressive they'll become.
Okay, we gotta get to this, because this is something we talked about previously on the channel when this, like when the first teaser trailer came out. The Blood of the Dawnwalker, rescue your family, 22 days left. I'm still very curious how this is gonna work exactly. I've heard a lot of people like take their own interpretation of it. Hopefully it's like one of those where like it doesn't, you know, you don't really have to worry too much about this, like that the game just ends or anything like that. Yeah, we'll have to see.
So when you play the game yourself, you'll have to decide whether you want to challenge the vampires openly, or lay low until you're ready to strike and surprise them.
The cathedral. It's even bigger than I remembered. And it's grander than before. They're putting in new stained glass. The Knyaz doesn't deny the old faith.
It's looking pretty
This is the rich district of the city, Silberkreis. There's also Altenmarkt, Neustadt, and the Middens. Each of the boroughs has its own feel and character.
Get your stinking ass out of here!
I was just passing through, I swear. I got tired.
Oh my god, it's so witchery.
I sat down and started begging.
Looming high over the city is Brancis's castle, Greifberg. He took it over when he slaughtered the human ruler of the valley, Skender, as shown in the trailer we shared with you earlier in January this year. In order to complete the main quest and save your family, you'll have to storm the castle, alone or with help of friendly NPCs. We could do it right now if we wanted, but it would be super challenging.
So you're essentially like creating and like recruiting a team in order to like storm the castle so you can save the family. So they're inside, so that family is inside the castle there. Okay, that's very interesting. It's gonna be cool to see. So it sort of sounds like it's gonna be like a Mass Effect 2 suicide mission kind of type deal here. I like it.
No more drink for you, my friend. Go home.
Oh, let me. I just want to. Oh, let me in.
You made a mess, and it's not that kind of inn.
Let's check the map. The cathedral is really close. There's plenty of other places
Damn,
to
that's
see
huge.
and things to do here. A couple of inns, a medic, a blacksmith, an armorer, and other merchants.
Again, the map design is very similar to The Witcher. What is
You can
that?
see that not only the vampires came out of the shadows. This creature on the right is called an Uriash. Look around, especially at night, and you'll learn humans have lots to fear, not just
Looks like
the
a Kunari.
vampires. And here we can see guards pounding on some poor guy's doors.
Nice. What is it about?
I'm guessing that these are gonna be like small side quests and stuff like that, so I don't think that, you know, but maybe I'm wrong about this, but I wouldn't assume that this is gonna be like constantly like organic, you know, events that happen all the time. This almost seems like it's gonna be like leading into side quests. Generally, that's how it works.
Disrespected the Kniaz, singing songs that mocked him and the faith.
Who told you this nonsense?
Was it Livia?
Because you can talk to the guard right there.
It's just one of many different community scenes we're implementing in the game. Watch them closely when you play, as they might point you to new quests and hidden treasures,
exactly.
or signal changes in the game's world.
Once again, I humbly beg of thee.
I humbly.
Ouch!
I don't want to say it, Mum.
It's a prayer. It's what we have to say. Go on.
I humbly.
Again, it looks good, but it's slightly muddy, like in the graphics.
Okay, we are at the cathedral gates. Again, since Cohen isn't yet wanted by the vampire regime and it's daytime, we can simply walk inside.
Huh, okay. Oh, cinematic, nice. Okay, that's the vampire baddie. With the painting.
The baptism of a newborn is a solemn moment, doubly so. A new life joins our flock, bringing happiness to its parents and to the congregation.
Oh god.
Natus ex sanguine est,
Like they've
alitur sanguine,
created a new religion around vampirism.
et in sanguine morietur. Ego te baptizo in nomine Dei. Amen.
Some of the lip syncing is a little bit off as well, I'm noticing. Again, early footage. It doesn't really surprise me. Oh, dialogue, let's go.
Don't I know you from somewhere, young man? Laslia, maybe?
Oh, it's timed, nice.
I'm sorry, but you must be mistaken.
Am I? Perhaps. Perhaps. My memory isn't
that
what
Ben
it used
Starr?
to be.
It's
Come
not,
with me.
right?
I'll take your confession.
Thank you, but I have no need for confession.
Ah. So
No, it's
you
not.
deem your conscience clear?
I wouldn't go that far. But I'm sure you're a busy man, Father. So while I appreciate the offer, I feel that my soul shouldn't be your priority.
I won't press the matter. You are quite correct. I have many other duties to attend to. But please remember that in order to be saved, we all need to repent. Myself included. I hope we can speak again soon. Good day to you, Cohen.
One thing I noticed is that I do think that this is kind of like representative of what the game will look like, especially like in dialogue scenes here in the final game, because generally when you see a lot of these gameplay trailers and showcases, Like they like have really really good dialogue scenes, and then when like the game comes out, it's not as polished. So I think this is very transparent by the team to show us like, okay, this is what it looks like now, and it will probably look somewhat like this in terms of the final product. It's like not hyper good, but it's not bad. It's actually, you know, it's pretty industry standard in terms of like dialogue, facial animation, and stuff like that. So I think it looks good, and I think it looks good enough to show that, you know, they're not overdoing it. They're not trying to market the game as something else than it is. But that, you know, that's just my opinion on this. But that's what it looks like to me.
What we saw right here was just one of many cutscenes we recorded for the game, which smoothly transitioned into a dialogue scene. We use cutscenes to highlight key scenes or showcase interesting bits of lore. Like this blood baptism. Creepy, isn't it? The core feature of the Blood of Dawnwalker is the dual gameplay loop. Remember, Cohen may be a human during the day, but he turns into a vampire at night, and has a different set of skills at his disposal.
I just hope that that creepiness actually makes it into the game, because that's why I kind of chuckled there, because when he says, like when the developer themselves say, it's creepy, isn't it? It's like, well, we'll have to see, of course, because we are the ones who are going to play the game and consume the game. So, you know, it's just funny to me whenever developers do that, as in like to try to give you the impression that you're supposed to feel. And I just hope that that makes it all the way into the game, and so it's not just something, oh, this game is creepy. Hopefully you guys get what I'm trying to say here.
And this is just one variable that affects our quests. Depending on when you tackle a particular quest, what choices you've made earlier, whom you befriended, or whom you've angered, your gameplay and story experience will be very, very different. So each quest is a complex structure with multiple possible paths leading to the end goal. We maximize players' freedom and agency, offering you a narrative sandbox to play in.
I will hold you guys to that, because we've heard that before. And don't get me wrong, I'm super excited for this, but I really hope this lives up to the hype they're building up right now, because that is, you know, that is another thing, is like, oh, your playthrough is going to be very different to everybody else's. And, you know, I just hope that they can deliver on that, because again, we've been promised that so many times before. And it's not necessarily always been delivered. So, you know, hopefully that is the case here.
I wonder what secrets may be concealed up there, just beyond Cohen's reach. And how do we get there? It's impossible to do during the day, but come night, it's an entirely different story. Let us explain what we mean by taking our current quest as an example.
Okay.
During the day, we got inside the cathedral without any problems, since it's open for all to see and Cohen doesn't yet stand out from the crowd. The scaffolds, though, are outside of his reach. But climbing them won't be a problem for the vampire, who has many more exploration abilities at his disposal.
Very nice.
Bear in mind, Cohen has not completed the quest yet. What's more, there are still a few clues to be found in order to solve this story.
Oh, I like the
It's
blood
worth
moon.
mentioning that narrative sandbox also means that we may completely abandon this quest and follow a different path to defeat Brensis. For today, we're focusing on the gameplay part, so let's see how we could tackle this particular quest during the night. We're starting right after dusk, as a vampire, on the rooftops of Svatro. Right now, we have 22 days left to complete this goal. This counter is always displayed, and you'll be warned each time it's pushed forward. So you have to be aware of the time, and it's more of a resource you'll be spending than a racing clock.
Okay. What does that mean?
As a vampire, you'll see and experience the world from a different perspective. You can travel quickly and easily access places beyond the reach of regular humans. Let us show you what we mean. This is Shadow Step, a unique vampiric ability allowing Cohen to jump to almost any place within his reach.
I like that.
Now, let's take a good look around using the focus mode.
Oh, let's go. Witcher senses, baby. Yeah, okay, I like this.
This ability highlights objects of interest and loot. And there is something right here. This time it's just some items to grab, but on other occasions, who knows? you might come across a hidden quest. Looks like our health is quite low. This is because, as a vampire, your health bar also represents your hunger level, and you start each night thirsting for blood.
That makes sense.
Remember, you have to quench this appetite in order to make full use of your vampire abilities, and rein in your monstrous nature around NPCs. Otherwise, you may end up draining someone important, which may lead to unpredictable consequences.
Oh shit, okay, so you need to...
We'd better feed then. Maybe on someone who is standing all alone. Like this drunkard.
Does that mean you have to kill...
Let's grab him. And
civilians?
use Voracious Bite ability.
Oh boy.
Unless you lose control due to hunger, you get to decide how much blood to drink. You can drain just a bit and knock your victim unconscious, or go all the way and kill them.
I like that very much.
And if you're adamant you don't want to hurt innocent humans, you can drink from animals and some other creatures.
If they do change how that dynamic camera angle works, I think they should keep this one because that really fits the concept of draining someone of blood. I also like the fact that, you know, you can decide in certain stages like how much you want to drain the person. That feels like a lot of player choice just baked into the gameplay. That's really cool. But again, like if they are gonna like change some of the dynamic cameras, because I imagine they would do that because a lot of people have been like, I don't really know how I feel about that. They should keep this one at least because that looked really cool.
Finally, we are at the cathedral, but it seems to be closed for the night, and the entrance gate is well guarded. Let's find another way in.
Pretty obvious route there, up to the right.
Shadow Step is not the only vampiric ability you're gonna learn during your playthrough. Cohen can also use Plane Shift to scale walls and even ceilings smoothly.
Oh boy. Well, that's really cool, I like that.
This will allow us to explore every nook and cranny of the cathedral.
It didn't look very janky either. He's just walking on walls.
Blood to blood.
This is really smooth, I gotta say. Oh,
Better be quiet.
You shall become
and the glide down the wall.
Voyeur's Xanthi. What the hell is she doing here?
Because she's one of the
What is she
vampires.
doing? Is that a ritual for the blood gods?
You shall want for nothing.
They're covering up the old paintings.
Only
Why?
duty shall remain.
One of the workers must have left it. Seems that the cathedral complex is quite big. The main building, cloisters, inner courtyard. The entrance to the crypt could be anywhere. Won't get anything done just standing around. Still.
This was a scene investigation, a mechanic we used to zoom in on and showcase key clues.
Again,
This time we had a
it just has that Witcher DNA to it, you know, where he's like talking to himself or thinking to himself, just like Geralt in The Witcher. It's you can feel like it's really just in the skeleton of the game. I like that a lot.
the chance to learn more about the vampire's plans. Looks like they're keen to cover up the old frescoes, so that's something we could take a look at. This way we could learn more about the cathedral's past.
I do wonder who the voice actor for Cohen is, though. I haven't looked that up yet.
Looks like we aren't alone here. Underneath us, there's a group of blood guards. Soldiers hooked up on vampire blood, which makes them stronger.
I keep hearing them say blood gods, but it's blood guards. It's so guards that's guarding the cathedral.
And one of Brances's vampire allies. It's Xanthi, the oldest vampire in Vale Sangora, and quite a powerful lady. Let's descend and check what's going on.
Not sure you're hidden well there, dude.
Don't think I don't see you skulking in the shadows. Come out.
I think anyone would have seen him there. But she seems blind.
You're interfering with my task. Who are you?
It doesn't matter.
Very well. I don't have time for interruptions. Let us dispose of him. Quickly! You've withstood it. Fascinating.
Cohen is using his claws to attack when in vampire form. Bloodguards are dual-wielding opponents. Their attacks are pretty strong. Of course, even when fighting with claws, combat is still directional. Don't worry, Cohen can still use his sword as a vampire.
Okay, that's good. He's got some long claws, though. Oh boy.
Only after defeating all three of the Bloodguards, Xanthi deems Cohen worthy of a challenge, and she descends to face him.
That ragdoll
She
animation
uses
was a
her
little
blood
janky,
control
though.
powers to cast a multitude of attacks, like her blood whips that hit Cohen from left and right.
Again,
Xanthi is protected by a powerful vampire ability. Once
you can obviously see that it's like really early because of the like the whip extends like from behind her, and it's like it just doesn't look like it's really attached to her. So yeah, they've got some work to do here. Again, we gotta mention this again. This is very early footage, but yeah, obviously.
her stamina runs out, Cohen will have an opportunity to strike and deal some damage. But be careful, cause Xanthi is quick to counterattack, and she will also try to restore her blood. Meanwhile, look at the indicator just below her health and stamina. It's a timer for the boiling blood skill that you've seen in the CGI trailer. So, if we don't hurry, the timer goes down to 0 and Cohen will eventually explode.
Oh, what?
And we're dead.
Whoops.
Remember, we were only mid-game here, and Xanthi is one of the game's most punishing enemies. Defeating her right here and right now is very much possible, but it would be hellishly difficult. A fun challenge for hardcore players. Otherwise, we could load the game and explore the cathedral without drawing her attention. Or try to get to her while she's not surrounded by bodyguards. Xanthi, like all other vampire allies, has her own questline. Explore it, and you can learn more about her past, motivations, and maybe even try to reason with her.
Okay, so there are other
What you do
outcomes.
is entirely up to you. Remember, our design principle is the narrative sandbox. There is no difference between main quests and side quests. There's just different stories that you weave together into your own unique adventure. But that's coming in 2026. For now, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this gameplay video presentation. We've just shown you a tiny glimpse of the Blood of Dawnwalker. There's definitely more to come in the coming months, so stay tuned for any updates being posted on our social media profiles. Goodbye.
Yeah, okay, so I gotta mention this. I do like what I've seen so far. That showcase went by quickly, man. That was actually surprisingly fast. I do like what I've seen so far, but the only complaints I would say that I would have, again, this is very early, is because like it's generally just the graphics looking a little bit, you know, muddy. It doesn't really look that much like current or next gen. It actually looks surprisingly a lot like The Witcher 3, and that's not a bad thing, but it's like, okay, I would imagine that this game is gonna look better, much better, on release here, because obviously, like, just looking at the Cohen's face here, like his facial textures and stuff like that, doesn't look necessarily super detailed. It's the same with the forest, it's the same with the NPCs, like a lot of it is kind of flat looking. The combat is one thing that I'm a little concerned about, specifically because of the camera, I would say. I think that the camera, like the close action camera, that might be like a little bit dizzying to like look at. I do like the over-the-shoulder exploration aspects of like running around like this, but the combat is like, well, we'll have to see, of course. Again, I do appreciate the fact that you have this little minigame when you're draining somebody of blood. I think that looks really cool. I like the fact that you can essentially decide how much you want to drain them, because if you don't want to be somebody who cold-bloodedly like kills people I do like that aspect because I do think it ties into like the whole player agency into the game. Yeah, and that Xanthi boss fight, it looked pretty janky as well. Like, it's relatively early, of course, as they say. I'm surprised they didn't show a bit more. Then again, you know, this is just an early look. But so far, I'm liking it. I can't wait to see more of this game because obviously they're probably going to be like improving on a lot of things when it comes to both the graphics and the gameplay and the camera. I think they released this now because they want to hear what people think and if they should like change something while they still can. So I think that's why they released this now, because, you know, they need some suggestions on what to do and stuff like that. But we'll have to see so far. I'm not blown away, let's just say that. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for watching, everyone, and let me know what you guys think about Blood of the Blood of the Dawnwalker in the comments below. Have a great day. Mr. Alton signing off.